All right, we're gonna review Budweiser today. Yeah, woo! All right. Okay, a little bit excited about drinking Budweiser. You know what I'm saying? 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 Yeah. All right, so it's Budweiser. You know what I'm saying? This is the king of the beers. All right, 5% alcohol by volume. This is a flashy little tab on top, is what I'm saying. 5% alcohol, and this could have been brewed anywhere. Let's just get that out of the way right now. It could have been brewed in London, Creston, Edmonton, Montreal, Halifax, St. John's, by Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Union Made. Oh, I'm going to fucking throw this at the wall right now. All right. Oh, I'm going to take a shit on this can. All right. So, you know what? I really, I've had Budweiser once or twice. No, a few times. I've had it out of the bottle. I didn't mind it too much out of the bottle. And they have the little crown on the tab, and then they got a great logo. And let's just see if we can get some head action out of this here a little bit. I don't mind rice in certain beers. I was going to research this, but I forgot whether or not. We're just going to have to try and taste the corn out of this one, okay? I'm just going to put it. And I feel corn more than I taste it. Like, I drink a corn beer and I'm like, oh, and I hit the ground and like convulse more than taste it. I get an instant headache, especially off Budweiser. So I'm just going to assume that there's corn in it. They don't mention the corn on the label, though. It says, brewed by the original process using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt. And this is brewed by Anheuser-Busch. Actually, they buy a lot of barley from right around here. I've been to the grain elevators and I said, I'm looking for some malting barley because I brew my own beer, right? And I made my own crystal malt. They're like, oh, you're one of the Anheuser-Busch guys? I should have said yeah and got a fucking awesome deal on a boatload of barley. Next time, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm GW's cousin, you know what I'm saying? Load me up. All right. Not a whole lot of aroma. This is very mild, and actually that's why the thing with Budweiser to me is kind of a conflict, because for an adjunct lager, yes, the start of this beer is very mild, very smooth, very refreshing and cool. We'll end it there, and then we'll get into the finish later, okay? All right. Still Artois, because you got to drink your Budweiser out of a tulip glass. Here's a color, so it's nice and foggy. Some of that's on the glass, but that's you can see the rice in this beer, folks. That's what that cloudy kind of white haze is. That's typically brought on by the rice. Well, typically, it always generally is. Fabulous aroma for a domestic pale lager or adjunct lager, however you choose to refer to this beverage or these types of beverages. It smells actually delicious. But we'll get into the finish a little bit later, all right? The head is pretty much gone almost, so. Okay, so I'm not getting any bad finish at the moment. Wait for it. Wait for it. No, and actually, if you're drunk, like I just had 2 Canadian cream ales, which is basically the same beer. So I'm a little bit desensitized to this. But now, as I'm talking, we have what's called a prolonged aftertaste. This is where I'm really going to shit on this beer. All right. Head's gone. Let's continue. Great finish. Super refreshing. Oh, that prolonged aftertaste just came in a hell of a lot sooner. Before the actual finish. It hit me in the middle. Now it's continuing on. Let's move on. All right. Drink your number 3 or 4, whatever, you know. Looks like fine champagne in this glass. Oh, the start was great. Lasted for about a 30th of a second. Straight into that awful finish. Yeah, it's sour, and that's a typical thing. Which rice can really, it's not. I'm not totally negative on a rice adjunct, but rice can really bring a lot of sour tang if you don't have a real good recipe. And I can actually see why a lot of people like this beer. I really can. I'm not pulling out a whole lot of corn. A little bit in the finish, but that's that rice. And now like the finish is really starting to bother me a little bit. I'm really getting some nasty old shoe flavors all around the back of my mouth. And the last time I drank Budweiser, it was a lot worse because I drank a one of these and I gave it like a respectable domestic pale lager rate, and then it had to go down from there. So I canceled that review and deleted it. And I says, well, I got 6 more, and we'll get into this too. Okay, I had to buy 6 of these piece of shit beers. Okay, and it was $13.99, and I can't remember if that was before tax and shit. I think it was $13.99. This beer cost me over $14 for 6. I got ripped off bad because I could have brought 6-pack of Phillips. I don't know if they have 6-packs. I only get Phillips in the 12s in the tasters that I know of. But I mean, I could have got you name it. I could have got all kinds of different 6-packs of craft beer for the exact same price. I mean, I could have got New Belgian. I could have got Sixers of all kinds. I could have got Tank House, like Mill Street. I could have got any typical craft beer that comes in the 350s. I could have got for the same price as this. And actually, this is tonight is not too bad. But let's move on. The finish is pretty bad now, but it's not like the other night. I had that taste, that shit rice sour tang like for hours after. Like you have to brush your teeth after you drink this beer, and I think that's where it really is a great start. Nice, cool, refreshing. I think that's where domestic pale lager or adjunct pale lager people are really missing the whole flavor profile of beer. Because, yeah, they have a nice, cool start, a nice feeling, a nice, cool, refreshing Pilsner type vibe going. But where you're really getting fucked over is in the aftertaste and in the finish. Because the corn just destroys that. And if you had a straight kick-ass Pilsner, you'd know without corn. But so that's why so many beer snobs hate it, because we notice that finish. We notice that aftertaste that just destroys and shits all over the barley that was growing here and put in this beer. Yeah, it's pretty gross. It's not the worst, though. It's not. I wouldn't call it a 5 out of 11. I'll call it a flat out 6 out of 11. It's not the highest domestic pale lager. It has a great start, and that's the only thing that's saving this from being below 50. It has a great start, but it has a horrible finish. And you know, I mean, there's better domestic pale, better adjunct lagers out there. I mean, Rolling Rock, I would take a Rolling Rock over this any day of the week. But it's a 6 out of 11. And so, to me, that's barely over halfway beer. It's definitely drinkable, but it gives me a headache, and I'll never buy this beer again. Ever. In my entire life, I will never buy another fucking Budweiser. Ever. It is better than Busch beer that I've had people bring up from Montana and shit. But I will never in my entire fucking life buy another Budweiser. Ever. Ever. Ever again. $14 for this horrible, disgusting shit. Beerzerker, and I'm out! Yeah!